Hi everyone, I'm Aatman. I'm here with Naftani and we're first step and second step. We are now wrapping up week 2 of our IPL challenge, which has been a resounding victory for me. Horrible defeat for Naftane, and I'll let him tell you the scores.
You've crushed it this year. It's been so disappointing. The players I picked, Abhishek Sharma, two failures. Jansen didn't bowl, had to be replaced by Jadeja, who did not do anything. I don't think I had a single good pick up except Virat Kohli, to be honest, which is saying
I mean,
something.
to be fair, Jadeja did reasonably well considering that his team has been garbage this time. He did got a few wickets, got a few runs, nothing earth shattering, but he did okay.
I'm looking at who else I had. You Yuzvendra Chahal did nothing. Actually, Jaiswal was a decent pick, but RR isn't winning, so he's not getting those impact points, is he? The other one, Mitch Marsh. I was in Yellowstone last week, which is why I picked the Bison, and the Bison ran away. So
He did pretty badly. And I think it's like I had four players score more than 90 points, right?
yeah,
And your highest only
one player
one
with 90 points.
and just above 90. And I had, Krunal, Akshar, my two, Desi all-rounders did really well as expected. And then also we had Hazelwood has an outstanding week too, right?
Yeah,
Along with Bhuvneshwar.
I was watching the match this morning, and my girlfriend asked me if Kronal is a good player, and I said not as good as his brother. And I think Kronal heard me, and he took it to heart. He was like, "Hold my chas, I'm doing
Yeah.
this." And he
I
proceeded to play
honestly
the best
think,
inning
yeah.
of his life, literally the best inning of his life.
I think he was fortunate today as well. I think there were a lot of near misses and stuff like that, but I think overall he's involved enough in terms of being a lower middle order bat and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
definitely somebody who's going to get 4 overs that he's going to get you some points. Very similar to Akshar in that sense, but not as polished maybe, but more experienced.
He has a high floor, though, right? I mean, the thing with Kronal is he was always slightly better than his numbers for Mumbai and maybe for LSG as well. And I think he's getting to shine in RCB. So Kronal really did change the match around and his strike rate. And of course, if you don't get dropped this season, you consider yourself unlucky instead of being lucky for being dropped. The way these catches are going down.
Yeah, like right after we talked about, there was an article in Cricket for last week. I know on in the sort of IPL recap that they do on the final word, it came up as well
Yeah,
of like every match has seen, and even keepers are dropping like high chances now. So it's just bizarre, right?
it, it is. It is. Though on that note, I noticed that you're not sharing points. Is it because it's just too high?
No, let's just do it, right? So like the points that for this week, let's just do it. So I had a let's just do a quick calculation of the percentage increase week on week.
Hey, you
I had
don't
a
get over
20%
manager only.
increase.
You won by more than 200 points. Take it.
Yes, yeah, and so I had a 20% improvement week on week, and
Oh,
and
I had
Nav
a
had
10%.
a
Oh
yeah
my
eight
god.
and a half percent decline.
Oh
So
god.
yeah, it was a significant margin of victory, and like again, 1 week is all that matters. So it is 2 weeks in a row for me, one close and one not so close. But now it's just always next week, right?
Before people drop off, we have something very exciting today, right? We're not just going against each other, we are also going against AI. So Atman has instructed ChatGPT to do a bunch of calculations to pick their team after we've picked ours and then compete against us. So let's see how smart AI is.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting way because like I have some similar experience of like I played one fantasy football league many years ago at work and where I just used the auto draft and landed up winning just because like I had no priors and biases in deciding who's going to win. I think the to be fair to ChatGPT in this time around, like it's only going to get to go after us.
Yeah.
So it's not participating in the live draft, and then maybe if we are able to set that up next time around, we could just include it in the live draft as well and see how well it does after that. It's kind of
Yeah. And
I'm curious to see how it works.
I might stop doing these episodes if I lose from ChatGPT again. So
I mean,
there's
in
that.
all honesty, like it's like, and it's the other thing that it's also going to help us do is do an ideal team of the week and stuff like that. Some compositions.
Yeah.
that we can start comparing our teams against and see how many of our players actually made the cut. I don't think anyone in Afghanistan's team made the cut this time around. Maybe Kohli sneaks in to the top five batters for
If
this
I
week,
pick,
but just about.
hmm. All right. So we're doing the retentions again. I have
Yep,
four capped and one uncapped. I think you're retaining five players as well. All right. Who are you
that's
retaining?
correct. You go first. Since I mean you have the first pick as well this time around, and now that you've kind of suffered a resounding defeat, I'm gonna let you go first.
Yeah. So I'm retaining Jofra and Jaiswal for sure
Hmm.
because RR are playing three matches and that's pretty much the only two players that are doing well in RR, right? I'm also retaining. I think he's been my favorite player of the young crop this season. I got I got Jasprit as a sub. Mumbai is playing one match. If one of my 11 does not play, it will come in, and I'm just afraid that you'll pick Jasprit up if I let go of him. So this is one of those I need to hang on to to the best bowler in the world. And then yeah, Butler is my keeper and the informed batter.
It makes sense. I think you have the two RR players who have done anything of note this
Anything.
season, right?
Yeah, and
And
just
and I think that they're consistently. There's no reason to expect why they're not going to continue to contribute. And I think that with 3 games, it's a safe pick. So I'm just keeping four. I'm not keeping my uncapped. I'm going to move
oh,
that
you're not
around as well.
okay.
Yeah. So I'm just keeping Josh for the same reason as it's like even with 1 game, I'm not going to drop him. Akshay is the same reason. I think he's the most. I had to like struggle between Akshay and Kunal, but like Akshay is, I think, the one that I think I would put more money behind. And Surya for the same reason. I think he's kind of hit his gear. I don't see any reason to drop him. I already had Rahane from the previous week, and he's playing a couple of games this time, even though KKR have been pretty poor. I think he's been pretty consistent at getting at least 20, 30, 40 at a pretty good strike rate. And he is definitely going to have to bat,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So,
the thing though. LSG, DC, MI, and RCB are the informed teams, and all of them have just one game each.
yep.
SRH has one game, but at this point, picking anyone from SRH is gambling, roulette.
Yeah,
The numbers, not red and black. So that is,
exactly.
and yeah, CSK has two games, RR has three games, KKR has two games. I don't think they're making the top four, to be honest. Those three.
Yeah, I don't. But I think like the fun part about this is you just need to pick the one player who does well, right? And hopefully that there's something that happens. So let's jump right into it. So I think you get to go first this week.
I do get
So
those.
yeah,
And I've been struggling between the two GT openers to pick from, and I'm gonna go with Sai Sudarshan.
okay. It's pretty straightforward that one, right? Like he's been
Consistency,
amazing,
consistency,
right?
consistency. I need someone to just come in, take 50 points in the two games they play, so that I get a 100-point player. I think Sai is gonna be the
I
guy.
think you have by saying that you have 100% jinxed him for next week. So let's
The
see.
only hey, I said I'm picking Kohli, hoping I don't jinx him. He scored 250s and
That's
he
true.
missed two chases. And to be honest, I think Kohli should have gotten more points for this, for today's game at least. His strike rate was low, but it did not need to be high after losing 3 wickets in the power play. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He stayed there so that someone else could hit.
Yeah, I think that to your point, there's always contextual limitations to formulae that have to be applied across the board, even if you take into account match level things. I think he did, like I said, at any chase that's under 200,
Yep.
like he's in cruise control, it looks like, right? Like I think that's just fine. And like it seems to be in his comfort zone. And with their bowling firing, like we talked about last week, he's looking pretty solid.
Yep.
Okay, so for me, I'm just going to complete the other half of that equation. It's going to be Gill, very
Yeah.
straightforward, right? Like it's an easy pick, no need to discuss that much, and then right back to you.
Between us, though, wait a second. Between us, we got Butler, Sai, and Gill, right? That's the best top three of this IPL. Would you say otherwise?
Probably. I mean, you could. I can't think of anybody else in the top three who's done. Priyansh would probably be an outer shout in
But,
the
but
in
not as a combined top three, right? Like,
not as a combined top three for sure. I think that's pretty much as uh, tight as you can get. Right. I don't think there's anybody who's who would sneak into that. At least not a name that comes to mind, obviously.
Yeah. All right. I got to pick a batter. Is it going to be the one other guy in RR who I think is in form, or is it going to be one of the bankers?
No. Who's it
Ayer.
going to be?
Ayer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
taking the one other RR guy, which I think is in form. Let's see what happens.
no. Ayer's an easy pick, right? I think he's just good, right? And
Yeah.
like I think like, he's done well. He had a quietish week in the 3 game week that he had, which is kind of surprising, but there's no
Which
reason
just
to not.
means the law of averages should catch up. Should.
I'm not really sure whether yeah, it should. I would be very surprised if he's not in the top five
Yeah.
to ten run scorers at the end of the season, right?
Do you think he wants to be on the plane to England 2 months down the lane?
I can't think of anybody who doesn't want to, like to be honest, like at that stage of his career. But like
Yeah.
I think on pure numbers, like again, I've never seen him play in conditions like that, so I really can't say. But just on the eye test and ability and the fact that
Yeah.
there is some experience there, for sure.
Because
Right.
I mean, he has to be in the top 6, 7 run scorers in the IPL to audition for that, right? And I was doing this thing where I make possible test 11s before if I'm not able to sleep. And I was thinking of who's our number 5 and 6. And in England, I don't know, we have Sarfaraz, we have Jurel. Ayer could easily replace those two.
I mean,
Assuming
I think he's the
round of,
ceiling is definitely higher, right? Like he's a
yeah.
better batter than both.
Yeah, and yeah, let's go back to the IPL. I think we'll do a full pre-England thing after that. Yeah,
Awesome. So my next one is a little bit of, I was on the fence for about this one, but I'm going to pick him just on a little bit of vibes. It's just the rain. So near the rain. Like I think he's he is going to bowl. He is going to open. I'm counting on him getting at least a couple of wickets and at least getting 120, 30 odd away.
30 of
Um,
10, right?
yeah, that's all you need.
That's
Or like 0 of 9, which is the
0 of
other
9,
like
which was 2 games earlier. So
yeah,
yeah,
because it's so strange watching him play that it doesn't like when he hits something, it looks amazing and because he hits it really well. But he also like completely misses really often. So it's kind of hilarious and fun to watch, right?
I think it worked in the previous year, because he had Phil Salt in the other end, right?
That's true.
Other opener is not working. I don't know. Let's see. All the best to Naren. I will pick the other guy that I thought is in form in RR, Nitish Rana. And
Nice.
KKR let go of him. Now I have two players who have a point to prove against KKR. I don't know if they're playing KKR or not, but at least one of them has 3 games. So
Mhm.
Rana should come good in at least one of them.
Cool. So now to round off my top four, I have Surya and I mean I have Rahane and Surya who I'm keeping,
Yeah.
right? And then I have Akshar at five who I'm keeping again.
You
So I
need a
think I do need a keeper, right?
yes, you do
That's
need
what I'm saying. So I think for me, it's going to have to be like in terms of not having many choices, it has to be
don't say it.
no, it's going to be Jurel for me, right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
I,
Yeah.
if you were thinking MSD, no,
No.
I
I
thought about.
No, thanks for picking Jurel. Yeah, MSC could be a keeper. I don't know if Cricinfo gives you points for stumpings and stuff. MSB
Mhm.
could be a good choice, right? It depends. Does he want to come in on number in number 9 or number 6 or number 5? I have no idea. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Jurel was good in parts. I think the thing with Jurel is he needs to finish off games, and he's not done that in the last 2 chances that he got. So let's see.
Yeah, I think they've. I mean, let's be honest, they've kind of sucked, right? It's like there's no other way to say it. It's like they've flattered to see they've done well in parts and like they've looked like they could easily win and they've just dropped games from very easy winning positions. And but I think with 3 games,
Yeah,
with the fact that Jofra is probably going to get at least a few caught behinds in his time, and he's going to definitely get some catches. So
yeah.
we'll see.
No, I think I'm most surprised by RR than the others at the bottom of the table. So totally get it. I meant don't say KL because I wanted to just keep him for Even the one game that DC plays,
Oh,
just
you're
yes,
taking the old reliable.
future-proofing my wicket keeper.
Okay, that's perfect. I mean, I've had him since the beginning.
Yeah.
I love the guy. He's awesome. So enjoy him. I hope he does poorly next week.
Yeah.
So number 8, I'm gonna go with the not yet fully formed Ishan Sharma clone. Hopefully, that everyone's hoping for is like Prasidh, right?
I was gonna
He's
go
been
for him
yeah.
next. Prasid has had a good IPL.
I mean, he's been excellent, right? And he's got a couple of games. I see no. He seems to have like figured out his T20 bowling, and he seems to have like he's the pace seems to be there. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. So I can't not pick him. So now I have the top two wicket takers in my squad. So
I don't know where this guy is in the list. He should be high up. I'm taking his bowling partner Siraj.
okay,
Yeah. I absolutely love Siraj's passion. I've loved it from the day he's debuted. He bowls his heart out, he wears his heart on his sleeve. And when he's on song, it's his best ball is probably right up there with Bumrah's. It just
yeah.
he just has to hit it.
I mean that's the thing for me. Is like for me he's what I like calling like a luxury bowler in the
Yeah.
sense that as long as everybody else is bowling well and keeping up the pressure, he's like an excellent attacking bowler to have. But he also is like very like when it's bad,
Yeah.
it's really bad, right? And it's but he's definitely matured. He's an excellent bowler, and
Yeah.
I'm sure
No,
he's going to get wickets
he
at the
is,
least.
right? Like we're not neither of us are saying he's not an excellent bowler. I think he does the same thing that Mitch Stark does, which is searches for swing early. But if
Hmm.
he doesn't get it, sometimes he doesn't have a plan B. Mitch Stark's plan B is to get back off length, bowl the hard lengths. I don't know if he does that often. But yeah, Siraj on song, swing in the air, I'd take him any day.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
My next one's easy. It's Arshdeep, right? Punjab have got two, right? He's done well for me so far. So that's an easy one, right? Like so he's definitely my next pick. And I would be surprised if he doesn't do well.
Okay. You'll be surprised by my next one though, because I'm not gonna go for Arshdeep's bowling counterpart. I'm gonna go for Sai Kishore. I've been waiting
Okay.
to pick Sai Kishore for the longest time, and Gujarat has had one game in the last 2 weeks. So
Hmm.
here's my chance. Sai Kishore, love the hairstyle, love the bowling, love the wickets.
No, he was on my list. Like I did say, like I'll be honest, like he's right up there, and there's no reason to expect that he's not going to do well, right?
Yep.
So very easy pick. So this one is a tricky one for me now. So I could, I think I'm going to go with Marco, Marco
Yeah,
Jansen.
that's an
Yeah,
obvious. And I
yeah,
think
it's an obvious one. Like I was flitting between a couple of choices there, but I just think I'm just going to go with the teams that are doing better,
yeah.
and I think I like him, right? And he's done well for you in your last couple of weeks, and so
Yeah.
I'm happy to put him in.
He's he, what's his release point? Like 7.5 meters or something? Sorry, seven and a half
Feet.
feet or something. Yeah, it's a good pick. Okay. Hmm. I'm gonna go with Varun. This is gonna be a spin heavy
Okay.
Varun Chakravarti. Mystery spin. KKR doesn't have a lot of bowling options going for them, and Varun is gonna be my guy.
Yeah, they don't have much going for them at all, to be honest. Like it's been a tough. I mean, it's been a weird season for them, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Who do you have?
I've retained. So I'm just looking at my retention. So I've retained Josh. So with Akshar Dhruv, so I'm now picking my number 11, right?
Yes, you
With
are picking your number. You have 3 picks left. I wait. You have 4 picks left. I have 2 picks left. So
yes.
once
So
we do our entire thing, you get to go twice at the end because you started with 4 players instead of five.
yep. So I am going to go with Noor Ahmed for my 11,
Of course, you are.
right? Because they're playing a couple of games. I had him first. I think he's still likely to get some wickets.
Yep,
And yep, it's an easy one for me.
100%. So this is my subs now, right? Like I no, because the 12th man plays.
Yep.
Ah, interesting. In that case, I will go with Matre. Gaikod's
Interesting.
Gaikod's replacement. This is my vibes pick. I
Okay.
was actually wondering if I would want to go with Sheikh Rashid or Matre, and I think Matre has impressed me. He has don't want to put a young kid down, but he has better technique than Vaibhav Suryavanshi, right? Suryavanshi looks like he's really set up for that inside out cover shot and those big hitting shots. Matre looks a little more well rounded, so I'm banking on him.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just realized I don't have an uncapped player
at all.
in
Yeah,
my, and I have to pick one now because I have to have one in my 11, right?
you don't have to have one in your 11. You could have an international, all international team. You just don't
Hmm.
get that extra attention next week if you don't have one.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So I think I'm just gonna go with Dubey as my 12. Right? I
Shivam,
know Chennai got a, yeah, Shivam. I know
yes,
they're two with like deceptively similar names. So I
yeah,
know with Shivam,
yeah.
I think he's, I don't know, like I think he had figured out his T20 game really well. To be honest, I think he's had a, the team seems to be dragging him down a bit. He's been coming in like nearly impossible positions to try to score from. But I think if they're batting first, he gets like 7 8 overs to kind of do his thing with some
He
pressure on
may
the actual fielding team. It might be interesting for me.
he may just though the thing with Shivam Dubey is that he was supposed to be this big destructor of spin, right? He hasn't done that this season, and people have been pushing him back and not giving him like spin bowlers haven't been giving him just that length that he can free up his arms in, and he's not been able to adapt. I hope he does.
Hmm.
I don't see that happening though, to be honest.
Cool. So your last pick now?
Yes, my last pick. Oh yeah,
Is
my
it really?
last pick
Yeah.
is going to be Bhuvi as my substitute.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I again future proofing.
Fine.
I can't have Hazelwood. I need to have Bhuvi. I love RCB's bowling attack this year, and Bhuvi has been my favorite ever since I saw him debut against Pakistan and swing the ball in and out.
He's always been a favorite. I think he's like one of the players who should have gotten more test time than he did, particularly in England and stuff.
Especially
Maybe
when
it
we
was
get hit.
injuries. Yes.
Yes. If
But
Praveen Kumar could go and be the India's highest wicket taker of that series in England, if Bhuvi was there at that time, he would have destroyed England.
yeah. So my last two, because I have two now.
You have two now,
So I'm just going to go Prab Simran and I'm going to bring back Krunal as my
of course.
substitute just so I can keep him for next week. So that kind of, that's my quasi retention, auction retention style because like he's, nobody picks him. You're never going to pick him on vibes. So
No,
I that's why
I like Kronal. I like Kronal. It's just there's so many options, man.
I would have gone for Krunal ahead of Bhuvi.
I think I missed a trick by not picking Kronal, right? Yeah, he gives you two bites of the cherry, right? He gives you bowling wickets and then batting runs. Yeah, good pick.
Okay. So that's our 14. I think we're
That's
gonna
our.
do, yeah.
You're gonna give AI the prompt to.
Yes, I
Yeah,
am going to. So we're going to update our teams. We're going to give that information to our friendly large language model and see what it comes up with.
yeah,
And then, yes, we will follow up next week with the actual table. The other thing that we'll be doing is also allowing the AI to do like a retrospective of what teams it would have picked
yeah.
and see what it would have done against us. And also, we'll do a quick recap of the ideal teams of the week and how many of our players actually made it in.
Awesome. While you do that, let's jump ahead to 2 minutes into the video and see what that team is. Okay, so we've let Chat GPT do its thing with its prompt. It was only able to pick between the players that was available that Atman and I had not taken. And here's Chat GPT team. We are showing you this before we show our teams. Abhishek Sharma, Rayan Parag, Nicholas Purin, Klassen, Tilak Verma. Good batting. May
That's a
not.
solid, very T20 friendly batting lineup.
It's one of those high ceiling, low floor battings, right? And
Yeah.
then Jadeja, Pat Cummins. Again, I would have picked them any day if they were doing even slightly better than they're doing right now. Also, Pat Cummins is taking wickets, but I don't know.
I think
SRH,
it's also like the team performance kind of like limits what you can do, right? If your other players are not pulling their weight, then you're stuck in a situation where people can either see you out or you don't have enough runs to
Yeah,
defend or a bunch of other
exactly.
stuff. And I think like when you're chasing 200 is very different from facing Cummins and you're chasing 140, right?
Of course. Mayank Yadav, one player I'm genuinely excited about. I wish he comes back into full fitness. I wish he plays really well. He can be a long-term prospect for India, and I'm actually excited to see him. Chahel Kuldeep, we have the Kulcha back.
Yep, they're back. And I think like it's hard to look past them, to be honest. I think it's if they have been playing more games, and then
Yeah,
if we follow the same retention rules, and if we do allow ChatGPT to become like a full-time player in this
yeah.
thing, this makes the rest of the tournament super annoying for us because they have to pick
If they
tiers.
keep retaining the wicket takers,
Yeah.
is Patirana the one with the really low sling arm?
Yes, he's the Malinga style high
Yeah,
speed bowler who I think overall has done pretty well for Chennai. And I think it's like again, it's just that they're having a garbage season,
yeah.
but he seems
Though
like and it has been a very effective bowler, right?
I want to ask you though, at the point that Chennai is, there are two paths they can take, right? They could be the spoiler team that destroys top teams and make sure three finishing two or two finishing three or whatever, or people are checked out. What do you think is going to happen?
I honestly don't think like the way there's too much riding for I mean I would say this like for the older players it's hard to make a case for them being super switched on, right? Like
Yeah,
it's but for a lot of the younger people in the squad, like it's still career defining, right? Like
it's still an audition.
it always is. And I think
Yeah,
that the that's what makes this interesting and that's why I think there's still skin in the game. I also think that we discussed this briefly. There's some references in some media lately of Chennai crowds not being what they were.
yeah.
They're like dwindling and stuff like that. I think that there's a proud legacy in their team, and I don't think they'd be the general populace is happy. And I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on. I think they lost their first home games to
Since
SRH and RCB this season, who
yeah,
they'd never
RCB
lost at
after
home to.
18 years, SRH never. Mumbai
Yeah.
after 9 years. Yeah, it's not been good. And yeah, Dewal Brevis, Matre, and Rashik both have a long career ahead of them. They want to
Yep.
probably show that they're made of better stuff. And then
And also, like Dhoni doesn't like losing, and like
yeah,
nobody likes
yeah,
losing. Like, and
his
just a
career
bowler.
out of being a winning captain. Of course, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's I think it's an interesting time, right? And I'm curious to see what happens. I think they'll definitely ruin a couple of parties. I'd be surprised if they don't.
Let's see if Harshit Rana remembers he bowls fast and he has a long memory as well. And then
Let's
Shah Rukh
see.
Khan and Sandeep Sharma.
I love Sandeep Sharma. I think he's like
Yeah,
an all-time IPL bowler. He it looks like he has no business being an athlete, let alone like a highly competitive, successful bowler.
yeah,
But he's highly scared, and he just
he
does it
is.
season after season.
He is, and he's one of the beneficiaries of Dhoni's uncapped player rule.
Yep,
It worked out for him. Okay, really quick. Here's your
yep.
team. Any last words?
I'm happy with it. I think it's like the one thing is I'm glad I got Krunal back right at the end. I'm missing Rahul, so that's the one hole in my squad that I would have liked to have kept. But overall, I'm pretty happy. I think I have what I think I have a very strong bowling attack this time
Yeah.
around.
We did
I'm
a
pretty
swap.
positive.
We did a swap with Jansen and Rahul.
Yeah,
Here's my team. I think this team should do better than last week's. To be
it's a
honest.
it's a low bar, my
Yeah.
friend.
Wait, this is not my team. I'm sorry. This is my team. That was my team last week. But I think this team is going to do better than the team that I was just showing.
Yeah, it is. I think it's a little bit more balanced.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure if I would go Ayush Matre ahead of Bumrah for number 12, right? But
It's
even if
one
the
of those two
yeah,
games, one games
yeah.
thing more than anything else. And once I remember how to spell Varun right, I'll change it. Apart from that, yeah, like I said, I like my bowlers who take wickets and don't bat. And I think I've maintained that. I don't think I have a single all rounder here, but we'll see.
Mm, yeah, I think that it's going to be a struggle for you
Yeah.
to keep up with the Akshars and the Krunals of the world.
Yeah. When you get two rounds of getting points. Yep. All right. All the best, Atman.
Good luck, Naftane.
Two opponents now. Let's see what happens. Please like and subscribe, and hope you keep coming back to this channel.
See you
Thanks.
next week.